Ladies and gentlemen, partners, future leaders, today is not just a training. Today is a mindset upgrade. Because the world you walked into 5 years ago is not the world you're standing in today. We are now living in what I call the great filtering era. AI is not just changing industries. AI is not just improving productivity. AI is sorting people, sorting roles, sorting skills, sorting careers. Some will become replaceable, some will become powerful, some will stay employees, hoping to survive the next wave. Some will become economic quarterbacks, calling plays, guiding decisions, owning relationships. This is not about intelligence. This is not about education. This is about positioning. And today, we are here for one reason: to make sure you are positioned on the right side of history, to make sure you move from being processed by systems to becoming a human advisor systems cannot replace. And that starts with understanding exactly who we are. Before we talk about the future, we must be crystal clear about who we are, because clarity creates confidence. If you are a licensed realtor or NMLS mortgage loan officer, you operate under Golden Gate Realty and Finance Inc. That means real estate, that means residential mortgage, that means commercial lending. You are part of a licensed, regulated, real asset financial platform. If you are a licensed insurance professional, life, health, annuity, or P&C, you operate under POM, Peace of Mind Insurance Agency. That means protection planning. That means retirement planning. That means risk management for families and businesses. Two licensed companies, one ecosystem, one client strategy, one integrated financial platform. We are not random agents chasing deals. We are a structured financial services platform designed to serve clients across multiple stages of their financial life. And here's a key management principle. In uncertain times, structure beats hustle, because structure creates leverage. Structure creates consistency. Structure creates scale. And that's exactly what we built here. Now that we know who we are, let's look at what's happening outside these walls. Let's talk about the real world for a moment. Amazon recently laid off over 16,000 corporate employees, not warehouse workers, not delivery drivers, office people, analysts, managers, HR, back office processors, people who thought they had stable careers. Why? Because AI is faster, AI is cheaper, AI doesn't sleep, AI doesn't ask for a raise, AI doesn't call in sick. This is what management theory calls disintermediation, cutting out the middle layer. When technology becomes powerful enough, companies remove roles that exist only to process information. And here's the uncomfortable truth: if your value is processing information, AI will process you out. That doesn't mean those people aren't smart. It means their role was replaceable. And in this era, being replaceable is the biggest risk of all. So we have to ask a critical question. What exactly is AI replacing? AI replaces tasks, not people. Tasks. Tasks that are process-based, rule-based, repetitive, predictable. If a job can be reduced to steps, those steps can be automated. That's why stable jobs are disappearing, because stability without scarcity becomes vulnerability. Let me say that again. Stability without scarcity becomes vulnerability. If many people can do it and a machine can do it faster, that role is under pressure. But here's the important shift. AI is not replacing value. AI is replacing routine, which means the future belongs to people who do what machines cannot. So now the question becomes, what exactly is safe? Here's the turning point. Here's the part where fear turns into opportunity. AI cannot replace responsibility, trust, judgment, human reassurance, negotiation under uncertainty. AI can calculate numbers, but it cannot carry responsibility. AI can give answers, but it cannot build trust. AI can show options, but it cannot guide a nervous family through a life-changing decision. When a couple is buying their first home, they don't just need data. They need someone to say, I've seen this before. Here's what we should do. When a family is planning retirement, they don't just need projections. They need reassurance, they need perspective, they need confidence. Psychology shows us something powerful. When decisions become emotional and high stakes, humans rely more on relationships than on raw information. And that is exactly what we do every day. We are not task workers, we are not data processors, we are decision partners. We sit beside clients when decisions are complex, when stakes are high, when the future feels uncertain. And in a world where machines are taking over routine work, decision partners become more valuable, not less. Now that we understand what AI cannot replace, let's talk about who becomes the safest professional in this new era. So now we understand something important. AI is powerful, AI is fast, AI is everywhere. But AI has limits. And when you look at where those limits are, you start to see where your value rises. Here is the big mindset shift. In the AI era, the safest professional is not the smartest coder. It's not the fastest analyst. It's not the most efficient processor. The safest professional in the next 20 years is this: a licensed advisor solving complex human problems. Let me break that down. Licensed means you are legally recognized, legally accountable, and legally required in the transaction. You're not optional, you're structural. Advisor means you are not just providing information, you are providing interpretation, judgment, and guidance. And complex human problems. That's the key, because complexity is rising, uncertainty is rising, financial decisions are getting bigger, not smaller. When decisions get bigger, people want humans, not hardware. When the numbers get emotional, people want empathy, not equations. When families feel fear, they want a face, not a formula. Technology works best when things are clear and repeatable, but life is not repeatable. Every family is different. Every financial situation has nuance. Every major decision has emotion attached to it, and that's where you live. You live where logic meets emotion, money meets meaning, risk meets responsibility. That intersection is not shrinking. That intersection is expanding because the more technology grows, the more people crave human guidance to make sense of it. So understand this clearly. AI makes information cheaper, but it makes trusted interpretation more valuable. AI makes answers faster, but it makes human reassurance more scarce. Scarcity creates value. And in this new era, the scarce resource is not data. It's trusted, licensed human advisors. That's where you win. That's why you're in the right industry. That's why this platform matters. Now that we see why this profession is safe, let's look at the specific protections and advantages our platform gives you inside this industry. So we just talked about why licensed advisors solving complex human problems are the safest professionals in the AI era. Now let's talk about the structural reason behind that safety. Your license is not a piece of paper. It is a legal moat. A moat is what protects a castle. It keeps competitors out. It keeps value in. And in our industry, that moat is created by regulation. AI cannot get licensed. AI cannot sit for the exam. AI cannot complete continuing education. AI cannot sign documents. AI cannot be sued. AI cannot be held responsible. Governments regulate people, not platforms. Responsibility must attach to a human being. That means your license is not just a credential. It is a government-protected economic gate. To give financial advice, you need a license. To transact real estate, you need a license. To originate mortgages, you need a license. To sell insurance, you need a license. And that's exactly where we operate. If you are a licensed realtor or NMLS MLO, you are operating under Golden Gate Realty and Finance Inc. If you are a licensed insurance professional, life, health, annuity, or P&C, you are operating under PIOM, Peace of Mind, Wealth Management, and Insurance Agency. Both sides of our platform are built on one thing: licensed professionals serving real people in regulated financial decisions. This is not a loophole. This is not temporary. This is how the system is designed. And here's the management principle: scarcity creates value. Regulation creates scarcity. Not everyone can enter this industry. Not everyone can compete at this level. Not everyone is willing to go through licensing, compliance, responsibility, and accountability, but you did. You are not outside trying to get in. You are inside the gate, inside the regulated ecosystem, inside the trust economy, inside the advisory profession. And in a world where AI is making many skills abundant, your license keeps your role scarce. Scarcity protects income, scarcity protects opportunity, scarcity protects your future. So don't underestimate what you already hold. Your license is not just permission to work, it is your legal moat in the AI era. Now that we understand the legal protection around what we do, let's talk about the next layer: the human protection that AI still cannot cross: trust. So we just talked about the legal moat. Your license protects your position in the system. Now let's talk about something even more powerful. Not law, not regulation, not paperwork. Human psychology. Psychology teaches us something very important. The higher the risk, the more humans rely on relationships over data. Let that sink in. When decisions are small, people compare prices. When decisions are big, people look for people. Buying life insurance is not a spreadsheet decision. It's a fear, a hope, a responsibility decision. Buying a home is not just math, it's security, family, stability, and future. Planning retirement is not about rates, it's about dignity, independence, and peace of mind. These are emotional decisions with financial consequences. And in emotional decisions, data informs, but trust decides. AI gives answers, you give confidence. AI shows options, you create certainty. AI calculates risk, you help clients feel safe taking action. And action only happens when confidence is present. That's why trust is not soft skill. Trust is economic power. Now let's connect this to our platform. When you operate under POM, Peace of Mind Wealth Management, you are not just selling insurance products. You are delivering peace of mind, the emotional outcome behind the financial decision. When you operate under Golden Gate Realty and Finance Inc., you are not just closing transactions. You are guiding families through one of the biggest financial and emotional decisions of their lives. That is a trust role. That is a relationship role. That is a human role. And trust compounds. One policy leads to another conversation. One home purchase leads to insurance, lending, planning. One confident client leads to referrals. Confidence closes deals. Trust builds careers. AI can support your research. AI can speed up your paperwork. AI can enhance your efficiency. But AI cannot sit across the table and say, I understand your situation. Here's what we should do. That moment, that human moment of guidance, is where your value lives. So remember this: information is becoming cheaper, trust is becoming more expensive, and we work in an industry where trust is the currency. Now that we understand the psychological barrier protecting our role, let's move into the next layer: why complexity in our industry makes human advisors even more valuable. So we just talked about trust. Clients trust humans when stakes are high. Now let's go one level deeper. Why does that matter economically? Because complexity creates value. AI loves standard cases, standard data, standard profiles, standard approvals, standard outcomes. But here's the truth about our industry: standard cases don't create extraordinary income. We make real money from non-standard cases, the cases where the numbers don't fit perfectly. The story matters. The structure needs creativity. The situation needs interpretation. That's where human advisors thrive. Think about what we handle under POM, peace of mind. Wealth management, high net worth structures, clients with multiple entities, advanced estate strategies, premium finance arrangements, foreign national clients with complex backgrounds. Those are not checkbox cases. They require understanding, positioning, strategy, coordination. Now think about what we handle under Golden Gate Realty and Finance Inc. Commercial lending deals, investors with layered income sources, construction loans, fix and flip stories, borrowers with strong assets but unusual profiles. Banks don't just want numbers, they want a narrative. They want to know, is this deal real? Is this borrower capable? Is this plan credible? That's where you come in. You don't just submit files, you translate complexity into clarity. And here's the economic principle: the harder the problem, the fewer people can solve it. The fewer people who can solve it, the higher the value of the solution. So when problems get complicated, fees get bigger, not because we push harder, but because the market pays more for rare expertise. This is not about selling more. This is about operating at a higher problem level. Simple cases are crowded. Complex cases are profitable. Simple work is automated. Complex advisory is elevated. AI compresses value in the simple. AI amplifies value in the complex. And our platform is built for complexity. POM gives you advanced insurance and planning tools. Golden Gate gives you real estate and lending capabilities for layered situations. We are not positioned at the bottom of the market. We are positioned where human judgment meets financial structure. That's not sales, that's economics. And the advisors who understand this don't compete on price, they compete on problem-solving level. Now that we understand why complexity drives income, let's look at how most companies limit their agents and why our ecosystem is different. So now we understand something powerful. Complexity creates value. Human judgment creates value. Trust creates value. But here's the uncomfortable truth of the industry. Most professionals are still trapped in one-dimensional platforms. Most agents live on one income stream, one product, one market, one cycle. Maybe they only sell life insurance. Maybe they only do real estate. Maybe they only originate mortgages. And when the market shifts, their income shifts with it. That's fragile because we don't live in a single cycle world anymore. Interest rates move, real estate markets cool, insurance underwriting tightens, lending guidelines change. If your income depends on one line, your income depends on one condition. That's not a career, that's a gamble. Management theory calls this concentration risk. When all your revenue depends on one variable, you're exposed to every market shock. But our platform is built differently. If you operate under POM, peace of mind, wealth management, you don't just have one product. You have life insurance, annuities, living benefits, LTC, Medicare, and P&C. If one product slows down, another rises. If one market tightens, another opens. If you operate under Golden Gate Realty and Finance Inc., you are not limited to just home sales. You have residential mortgage. You have commercial lending. You have investor financing strategies. When purchases slow, refinances happen. When residential cools, commercial still moves. When one door closes, another door opens. This is not diversification by accident. This is income architecture by design. Others are standing on one leg, hoping the wind doesn't blow. We stand on multiple pillars: insurance, real estate, mortgage, commercial lending. That means our income is not tied to one market condition. It's tied to human financial needs, and those never disappear. Cycles change, needs remain. That's why we don't panic when markets shift, we reposition. That's why this is not a job platform, it's an ecosystem platform. Now that you see how fragile single line models are, let's look at the opposite: how our ecosystem creates stability and growth at the same time. So, we just talked about how most companies are one dimensional: one product, one market, one income stream, fragile. Now, let's talk about why we are built differently. This is where our real advantage shows up. Under POM, peace of mind wealth management, you have access to life insurance, annuities, living benefits, long-term care, Medicare solutions, P&C insurance, with over 71 carriers. That alone already covers most of a family's protection and planning needs. But we don't stop there. Under Golden Gate Realty and Finance Inc., you also have real estate, residential mortgage, commercial lending. So think about what that really means. A family doesn't experience their financial life in separate compartments. They don't say, today I am only an insurance customer. Tomorrow I am only a mortgage customer. Next year I am only a retirement customer. Their life is integrated. Their finances are connected. And we are structured the same way. This is not cross-selling. Cross-selling sounds small. It sounds like adding one more product. This is bigger. This is ecosystem monetization. We don't chase transactions. We build a financial ecosystem around the client. A client buys a home. That's real estate under Golden Gate. That home needs financing. Mortgage under Golden Gate. That home needs protection. P&C under POM. That mortgage creates financial exposure. Mortgage protection under POM. That family needs future planning. Life insurance and annuities under POM. One life, multiple needs. One ecosystem. And when you operate inside an ecosystem, something powerful happens. You don't compete on price. You don't compete on one product. You become the financial control center for the family. The more touch points you serve, the stronger the relationship becomes. The stronger the relationship, the harder it is to replace you. AI can replace a task. AI cannot replace an ecosystem of trust built across multiple financial decisions. This is why our platform is not just more flexible, it is more defensible. Not just more profitable, but more durable. So remember this phrase: we are not product sellers, we are ecosystem builders. And ecosystem builders don't chase business. Business flows through them. Now that we see how our ecosystem structure creates long-term stability and leverage, let's look at a real-time opportunity where this ecosystem gives us a competitive edge right now. So we just talked about our ecosystem. Now let's look at a real, right now opportunity where that ecosystem gives us a serious edge. Across many states, especially California, Florida, Texas, insurance companies are pulling back: extreme weather, wildfires, hurricanes, floods. The result? Home insurance is becoming harder and harder to obtain. And here's what's happening in the real world. A buyer finds a house. The loan is approved. The deal is ready to close. Then suddenly, the home insurance can't be placed, and the deal dies. Other agents throw up their hands and say, sorry, I only do real estate. Sorry, that's not my department. Sorry, you'll have to figure it out. But we don't say that, because under POM, Peace of Mind Wealth Management, we have access to P&C with 71 plus carriers. That means when others hit a wall, we open a door. We don't just sell policies, we rescue transactions. And psychologically, this is powerful. When you save a deal that almost fell apart, you are no longer just an agent. You are the person who made the impossible happen. You become the trusted advisor. You become the first call next time. You become the referral source in that family circle. The agent who saves the deal becomes the advisor for life. This is not about insurance alone. This is about positioning yourself as indispensable. And once you are indispensable, your business becomes referral driven, not marketing driven. Now that we see how P&C creates leverage inside transactions, let's zoom out and talk about what a real estate client truly represents over the long term. Most people in real estate think like this: I close a deal, I get paid, I move on. But that's transaction thinking. We operate with life cycle thinking. A home buyer is not a one-time client. They are a mortgage client, home insurance client, life insurance client, retirement planning client, estate planning client. That house is not just a structure, it's the center of a family's financial life. And when you operate under Golden Gate Realty and Finance Inc., real estate is not the finish line, it's the front door. Through that one transaction, you are invited into their income story, their debt story, their risk story, their future story. Then, under Palm Peace of Mind, wealth management, you help them protect the home, protect the mortgage, protect the family, protect the future. That's not selling more, that's serving more deeply. One transaction is a moment, a client relationship is a lifetime. Transactions pay you once, relationships pay you repeatedly. And relationships compound. Referrals come, children grow up, parents age, investments change. And through all of that, you stay in the picture. We don't chase deals, we build ecosystems around families. And when you build ecosystems, your income becomes more predictable, more stable, and more scalable. Now let's take it one step further, beyond households into leverage and scale. So far, we've talked about protection and relationships. Now let's talk about leverage and scale. Mortgage is leverage. It allows clients to control large assets with structured financing. It allows investors to multiply opportunity. It allows families to move forward faster. And under Golden Gate Realty and Finance Inc., mortgage is not a side service, it's a core pillar. But even more powerful is commercial lending. Commercial lending is scale because commercial clients think differently. They think in portfolios, they think in projects, they think in expansion. And many commercial lending programs can be done nationwide. That changes everything. Your market is not your zip code. Your market is not your city. Your market is opportunity. If a deal makes sense in another state, you can still be part of it. That means your business is not limited by geography. It's limited only by your network and your initiative. Now combine this with what we already discussed. You bring in a real estate investor, you help with residential deals, then commercial projects, then insurance for properties, then planning for income and legacy. One relationship, multiple verticals, long-term engagement. Mortgage creates leverage. Commercial creates scale. And together, they expand your business beyond what most agents ever imagine. Now that we've seen how we serve clients from protection to property to portfolios, let's talk about how this turns into long-term client value and income stability. So we've talked about real estate as an entry point, mortgage as leverage, insurance as protection, commercial lending as scale. Now let's reframe everything we just discussed. This is not cross-selling. Cross-selling sounds small, it sounds tactical, it sounds like squeezing one more product into a conversation. That's not what we're doing. What we are doing is client life cycle maximization. Every client has a financial life cycle. They start with income, they take on debt, they buy assets, they protect their family, they plan for retirement, they think about legacy. Most advisors only show up for one chapter. We are structured to serve the entire book, one client, multiple service points, long-term advisory role. That's not sales, that's positioning. When you serve multiple parts of a client's financial life, you stop being an agent. You become the financial quarterback. You're the one coordinating plays. You're the one seeing the full field. You're the one they call before making big moves. And here's the management principle behind it. The deeper your integration in a client's life, the higher your lifetime value, and the lower your replacement risk. People replace vendors. They don't replace trusted coordinators. That's why we don't chase transactions. We build positions. We build roles. We build relationships that outlast individual deals. Now that you understand the long-term value model, let's talk about the timing, because the market right now is giving us a rare recruiting advantage. Look at what's happening outside our industry. There are thousands of talented professionals right now who are displaced by AI, burned out from corporate life, questioning their long-term security, looking for a career that can't be automated away. These are not unskilled people. These are analysts, managers, engineers, finance professionals, people who are smart, disciplined, and capable. They don't lack ability. They lack a protected industry with a platform. They've been running on the corporate treadmill thinking stability equals safety. Now they realize stability without control is fragile. And this is where we come in. We offer them something rare, a licensed profession, a relationship based industry, a platform with multiple income lines, a structure that grows with effort. We are not just recruiting, we are offering a career reset with upside. Management theory calls this a disruption window. When an industry shakes, talent moves. The question is, do they move into another job or into a profession with a moat? That's why now is not a random time. Now is a golden window. Because when uncertainty rises, people are open to new paths, and we have a path worth offering, which leads directly into this next point. When you talk to people about joining us, you are not offering them employment, you are not offering them a position, you are not offering them a paycheck, you are offering them a professional upgrade. You are offering a licensed career mode, a multi-line income model, a platform that supports complexity, a system where AI is a tool, not a threat. Think about how different that is from a traditional job. A job gives you tasks, a salary, a boss, limited upside. Our platform gives you a license, ownership of relationships, multiple revenue channels, scalability, and long-term residual value. This is not come work for us. This is come build something that grows with you. In a job, effort creates stress. In a profession, effort creates assets. In a job, time is traded for money. Here, time builds relationships that keep paying. And in a job, AI competes with you. Here, AI assists you. AI helps you write faster, research faster, analyze faster. But you still close the relationship. You still guide the decision. You still earn the trust. That's the difference between a replaceable role and a resilient profession. So remember this when you speak to recruits. You're not offering them work. You're offering them a future-proof seat inside a licensed, relationship-driven, multi-line financial ecosystem. And very few platforms in this country can honestly say that. Now that we understand how powerful this opportunity is, both for us and for those we bring in, let's talk about how each of you can restart, refocus, and execute at the next level. So we've talked about the industry, we've talked about the opportunity, we've talked about the platform. Now we talk about execution. Because insight without action is just entertainment. Here is your 3-step restart plan. Step 1, build your circle. Success in this business is not solo, it's structural. You need a support circle. You leadership case support. No one grows alone. Top performers don't guess, they collaborate. Some of you are new to Golden Gate Realty and Finance Inc. You need to start for real. Not watching, not waiting. You need to work closely with me, your real estate broker and mortgage broker, Alan Wen. Some of you have been with us under POM, Peace of Mind Wealth Management, for a while. But maybe you slowed down, maybe you got distracted, maybe you lost momentum. That's okay. But now it's time to restart. Work closer with me, your principal, your president, Alan Wen. This is not about pressure. This is about partnership. Step into the circle because isolation kills momentum. Step 2, focus your market. Don't try to do everything. Clarity beats activity. Pick one target segment first. Retirement planning, young families, business owners, real estate investors. When you focus, your message sharpens. When your message sharpens, your confidence rises. When confidence rises, clients feel it. Specialists grow faster than generalists. Step 3, bring real cases. Growth does not come from watching training videos. Growth comes from real client conversations. Bring your cases, bring your questions, bring your scenarios. We will work through them together. Skill comes from execution. Confidence comes from repetition. Momentum comes from action. Restart doesn't mean starting from zero. It means starting again with structure and support. Now that you have the plan, let's talk about the mindset that makes this powerful. Let's make one thing clear. Amazon employees are afraid because they are replaceable parts. They are inside systems they don't control. But you are stepping into something very different. You are becoming a licensed, trust-based, multi-line financial advisor. That is a completely different professional identity. Employees trade time for salary. Advisors build relationships that compound. Employees follow instructions. Advisors guide decisions. Employees worry about layoffs. Advisors grow their client base. In the AI era, this principle becomes even stronger. Technical skills depreciate. Advisory and relationship skills compound. Coding can be automated. Processing can be automated. Data analysis can be automated. But guiding a family through a financial decision, that requires trust. That requires empathy. That requires responsibility. And responsibility is human. You are not entering a shrinking path. You are stepping into a compounding profession. That's why this moment is not something to fear. It's something to leverage. And that leads us to the final message. Let's zoom out one last time. We are not in a shrinking industry. We are in an industry where human responsibility, human trust, human guidance are becoming more valuable. Technology increases information, but it also increases confusion. When confusion rises, advisors matter more. And right now, timing is on our side. From every household to the White House, everyone wants interest rates to drop. When rates drop, mortgage activity rises. When mortgage activity rises, real estate rebounds. That creates opportunity for Golden Gate Realty and Finance Inc. At the same time, insurance is being reshaped by AI and risk changes. Home insurance, auto insurance, dot protection planning. That creates opportunity for PALM, peace of mind, wealth management. And as people live longer with technology and medical advances, life insurance and annuities become more important than ever. Longevity increases the need for planning. This is not a random moment. This is a cycle shift moment. So here is the call to action. If you like helping families with our products, do it. You are not selling, you are creating protection, structure, and peace of mind. And yes, you make money by helping families. If you like helping other people find a better career path, do it. You are not recruiting. You are opening doors for talented people to join a future-proof profession. And yes, you make money through referral bonuses, trainer bonuses, and overrides across different business lines, legally and in compliance. Helping families, helping teammates, building your business. This is aligned income. This is ethical growth. This is long-term value. So remember the three words we started with: reconnect, restart, rise. The platform is here. The timing is here. The opportunity is here. Now it's your move.